Number 7. There is much being done to bring into concrete experience the truth of the statement that the unseen world is more real than the one that is seen by the mass consciousness on the planet now. These concrete demonstrations of the nature of this unseen causal effect are not only stimulating awareness, but bringing forth the opportunity to use this knowledge to encourage the visioning of the process that together we are beginning to bring forth. How is that for talking all the way around the subject? It helps to bring it out of the realm of wishing into the realization that there is a way to counter their methods without adopting them. The work to be done is not at this third-dimensional level of resistance, but as I have emphasized before, at the causal level of creating what is another focus entirely. The reality of the possibility of this process has already been demonstrated in fields that indicate these processes can be adopted and focused in accordance with what is needed. The already proven success of these theories adds the inspiration needed to bring forth the birthing activity. It is recommended that the messages be held for those who would be encouraged to join the birthing process in the immediate future. These people will quickly see the correlation, and of course some are already in the awareness of some or all of its contents. A basic awareness of both sides of the forces present is needed, and that information is available, and it is necessary that it be known to those selected as the parents of this process. It is a human weakness to assume that what is known to one is also known to all. Details are not necessary, but an overview would be most helpful with an available catalog of well-documented information for those desiring a more comprehensive understanding in areas not familiar to them. The processes mentioned in the message are of course known to those engaged in this broad research, and these strive to be merely known, but not to create a situation that will bring public awareness. At that point their existence is a threat to the powers that assume invincibility. These would then be in a precarious situation as the news titans. Their importance cannot be stressed enough. This is the reality check needed to assure the success of the understanding that these higher vibrational realities need to be pulled into the experience of this planet. As the message reveals, the comfort zone under threat can bring violent reactions, not only in the circles of the opposition, but among the general public. The opposition at its highest levels knows that it is threatened by a possible collapse of its operation from the inside out. The mass consciousness is merely reacting in a Pavlov's dog fashion. Possibility thinking is not acceptable. Herein lies the need for careful movements within the project until the critical mass is reached. This is why the approach to the plan must be by word of mouth to known individuals, who then take the responsibility of approaching those who they know have the proper sympathetic awareness and desire to see the situation change. The ability to identify with the change to be made at levels behind the five senses experience must be paramount in the beginning parenting process. It isn't the number of people involved at this stage, but the quality of the awareness that is important. The ability to possibility think, the openness to expansion of awareness, and the ability to assimilate and postulate into new synthesis, the known and unknown, is of critical importance. In other words, choose carefully. With that step clearly in mind, the proliferation will take care of itself. The clarity of the first combinations will set the stage for the entire process. Number 8. It is interesting that the power of thought has brought us to a meeting point of consciousness. This is a process of intent focused toward a mutual purpose. It is this bringing together of purposeful intent that is the magic of shared manifestation. It is evident in the perceived world that surrounds you in both its positive and negative forms. Now the plan is to raise that process to a higher level, to engage known processes to further your exploration of the process of manifestation. It is a matter of intention that brings forth the knowledge to be able to do this from a vantage point of awareness of the essential elements to ensure completion. This need not be done through blind faith in an unknown process. This would encourage an attrition rate that would ensure failure. It is a matter of making the data available to the conscious awareness and then allowing it to percolate. The inspiration for application will come forth into understanding. Manifestation is not a haphazard, lucky combination of synchronistic meetings. There are specific already existing procedures in place available to be used. It is a matter of bringing these purposefully into the awareness, and then the creative imaginations will trigger the appropriate applications. The luck of the draw is simply too risky to be relied on in this project. Here again the stress remains on the careful choices for the parenting operation. It is not desired to belabor this point, but it is awesomely important. Ours is a most important combination of massaging your consciousness, plural, and stimulating your concerns without bringing forth panic. We are finding this to be a skill that is most rewarding. It is indeed bringing about the desired results. You are not the only ones to which this process is being applied. Just know that all that can be done from this level is being done. It is in the actual movement from the point of inertia that will allow this behind-the-scene help to aid in bringing forth the manifestation of the plan. Remember, the birthing process begins with the dance of desires and culminates in an apparent miracle through processes that go on for the most part beneath the level of conscious awareness. These processes are not haphazard, but proceed with an exacting synthesis of multiple complicated interactions. If there was an original plan for this commonplace happening, then don't you think that a plan for one as important as this one is also in place? If you do not need to be aware of the functions relating to the birth process of a child to complete itself, then do you need to know of all the processes that will happen in this project? The human birthing process would not happen if certain physical actions did not take place to initiate its beginning. What is being emphasized here is that you understand you will not shepherd the whole process to its conclusion. Neither do we want you to think you will be left out of the project once it is initiated. Indeed, you will be included in ways that are not in the most freewheeling of your imagination at this moment. In this case, we encourage you to trust the process and continue to be available, for you are all needed. You did not sign on for a short-term assignment. Let us continue now by moving on to other subjects that are of course related. It is important to keep a balance in this stretch of your understanding of this commitment to the transcendence of the planet and its inhabitants. Know that this is hardly a single-handed commitment, but the agreed-upon commitment of countless numbers of beings who are not strangers to the process. In this case, the energy of this particular planet has reached a level of heaviness that is challenging to say the least. But after all, you must know that all of you thrive on challenge, and this is no exception. However, this time it is not a game, for failure would have serious implications beyond the mere suffering of incarnated beings. This of course is known to you at your deepest levels, so it is not meant as a threat. In this case, we are allowed greater discretion to assist, and we are stretching it to the utmost in order to initiate the beginning of this project. Much planning has gone into the methodology, with contingencies covered, for the art of improvisation is not limited to third-dimensional experience. It is known that a certain lack of sincerity exists within the realms of those who present themselves as leading the resistance to the planned changes. In this case, either these will find themselves involved in other activities, or you will have a distinct knowingness regarding the appropriateness of their inclusion. The identity of some of these might come as a surprise, but again you are connected to a point now that you will know in the moment when it is necessary to be cautious. Most of what is included today in this contact is known to you. It is as yet not possible to reveal detail for two reasons. The proper sequences are not yet in place, and this line of communication is not yet at a level for these to come through. All possible is being done to prepare this last phase so that there will be a coordination of these elements. Again, we ask your patience and that you trust the process, redundant as it may seem at times. As you say, just hang in there. End number 8.